My fellow Nigerians, arise, O compatriots, part 1. In this conversation, I want to talk about one of the greatest challenges we have in Nigeria. And what is that challenge? Lack of leaders. Mind you, I said lack of leaders. I'm not saying that we have bad leaders. Our greatest challenge is lack of leaders. We don't have leaders. We don't have leadership. We don't have leadership in Nigeria. What we have is a leadership crisis where we don't have leaders and we don't even understand what is leadership. But in this conversation, we're going to look at how you, in particular, can become a leader and contribute towards the growth and development of Nigeria. Yes, I believe that we have to contribute towards the growth and development of Nigeria because Nigeria is a great nation. We can achieve greater things when we apply what is right or when we build our moral standard. A lot of Nigerians have great dreams, great visions, great goals, and stuffs for Nigeria. But one of the challenges on that path is that a lot of good men have buried their head in the sand. Okay, let me go back to um, our topic of conversation today. First, I said we lack leaders. Why do I say so? Okay, before I get into the conversation, I'm going to give us 1 minute. In your own words, define leadership. Or if you're not so articulate, try to explain leadership in your own way or what you think it should be or what it should or what it is. Just try paint a picture. You're not painting it to me, just think it in your head. Let's just give it a 1 minute timing. After that, we'll continue. Okay, let's not waste so much time. Um, you've tried for whatever idea you came up with, no matter how it is. It may not be very articulate, it may be articulate. Now, I'm going to define leadership according to my own concept, and you must not agree with the concept of leadership I have. But what I want you to do is to, even if you don't agree, let it become a sounding board for you to develop your own concept of leadership. Let it become a kind of brainstorm stuff for you. Let it inspire you. Now, um, I'm going to define leadership in 3 parts. First is leadership is about creating a vision. You create a vision. Step 2, you develop yourself and everybody that is going to contribute towards the achievement of that vision. Everybody who is going to work for the achievement of that vision. That's step 2. Then step 3 is you implement that vision. So leadership is 3 parts. First, you design a vision. 2, you develop yourself. And 3, you implement the vision. Let's use a practical illustration. As a kid, you say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be that. But when you're saying all this, the truth is you lack the skill. You even lack the knowledge. You don't even know what it is. Maybe some people, they just say, doctor, they wear a white shirt, they carry stethoscope, so I want to be a doctor. Or some children, they say, I like to heal people, I like to make people feel better, I don't like people suffer, they want to become a doctor. But at this point, you lack what it takes to become a doctor. Now, when you make this decision, you can now go to school, do your junior work, senior work, get into the university, do medicine or do whatever course, accountancy, banking and finance, anything. By doing that, you are developing yourself, you are acquiring the skill to become a doctor or a lawyer. Like boy, I like it, I like big. Then lastly, after school, what do? You become that doctor, you become that Lai boy, LLB, or you become the Lai babe, or you become whatever. Now, it took so many years and time and effort from the time you made the decision to become a lawyer to the time you actually became a lawyer. So, you now see that leadership has stages and it has steps. And there's a lot of things involved in leadership. Leadership is an effortful journey. It's not something you just become. No, you cannot just become a leader. So, in life, for success to take place, there has to be a leadership effort. Because without a leadership effort, there can never be success in any way. Okay? Now, back to what I wanted us to discuss. I said we lack leaders, not that we have bad leaders. Bad leaders is not our major problem. Our major problem is that we lack leaders. Now, what do I mean? There's a difference between leadership and politics. There's a clear distinction between these things. And not all leaders are politicians, and not all politicians are leaders. And the ratio of politics to leadership is dependent on the knowledge base of the people within that system or that space. In Nigeria, what we have is more of politicians. Because I define politics as the science of installing yourself in an office. Finish. That's politics. But leadership is solving the problems of maybe your problems or the problems of society. Now, I'll use an illustration to paint the difference between leadership and politics for us. Let's assume in the neighborhood you're living, the transformer has gone bad. Now, the transformer has gone bad. Everybody is comfortable going out to buy fuel, petrol, or diesel to come and power their generator. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 1 week. When some people have looked at their pulse and they've seen that better money don't come out. Somebody should do something now. Transformer don't spoil since. Everybody just. The question is, who will do something? At that point where you are saying somebody should do something, maybe you're saying so because you go to work early in the morning and you come back late at night. But you fail to realize that so many other people within that environment go to work early in the morning and come back at night. So when you are saying somebody should do something, who is that person? That's number one. Now, let's assume you want to solve the problem the political way. You can call for a meeting, get people together, form a committee, and give that committee so much power. And that committee can even come to somebody's house, cut off their light, even beat the people for maybe not paying their own quota of what you guys have agreed. And maybe while agreeing, you guys did your boju and inflated the cost because you, the chairman, you want to buy motor after that thing. Now, you create a system that empowers you to suppress other people. And maybe you become the chairman of the light committee. Now, that process of you creating a leadership structure that whose emphasis is not to solve the problem, but rather to become powerful people within that space. You're solving the problem in a political way. Because one, at the end of the day, you may empower yourself to the point where you can go to people's houses, cut their lights, even beat them, even do a lot of nasty things, or that you may end up in the police station. Then connection will start working. But let's assume that you want to solve the problem the leadership way. Your priority will become that we want to have lights. So even if you call for a meeting, the emphasis is not to create a group or executive or one thing. Or even if you still create a group, the emphasis is on let us solve this light issue. So how much are we going to contribute? How much do we need to solve this thing, this problem? Okay, we need 300,000. How many houses are within this environment? 50 houses. So if every house brings 6,000, we can solve this problem. And the emphasis is on solving the problem and bringing back the light. So if you solve this problem and bring back the light, you have solved the problem in a leadership way. But if you need 300,000 to solve that thing and somehow, your budget is reading 800,000, you're not giving anybody any account at the end of the day. Okay, let me use a real life story. Now, an uncle of mine told me a story. He said they wanted to change their transformer in their neighborhood, wanted to use federal line. So they gave some people money to say, go to Lagos and buy transformer. I think what they gave them money for was for 800 kVA. They were supposed to buy two 800 kVA transformers. These guys went to Lagos. As at then, everything for purchases of the transformer came out to about 33 million, or about 30 million. I can't really recall. It's been a few years he gave me the story. So these guys got to Lagos. They bought two transformers, 300 kVA, and came back, mounted the transformer, connected everybody. Now, because of the connection they had, because they were indigenes of this place and they had some strong men backing them. Now, nobody could really question that, see, oh, this transformer is 350 kVA. What we said was 800 kVA. So everybody kept quiet. Within 2 or 3 months, all the transformers were blowing. Bam, 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 blew. So somebody now stood up and said, what is happening? Let the transformer committee come and explain to us what happened, why these transformers are blowing. That was when they brought in NEPA officials, and NEPA officials had to now even identify that these transformers are fairly used. They are not original. They are not new transformers. So they wanted to do it in-house thing. They didn't want to involve police and all that. So they said, okay, you, this committee that went to Lagos to buy this transformer, come and give us account of how you spent this money. Now, these guys started rallying around. You know, in the list they gave of how the hotel they slept in, there were 3 of them, 3 men that went for this assignment. They slept in hotels that they said each room was about 85,000 naira. This 2025, this June 2025. This happened in about 2022. They slept in a hotel, each of them. So for the first night is 240,000 that they blew. And they were in the hotel for about 3 or 4 days. It was actually supposed to be 3 days, but they spent 1 extra day. So you spent 80 times 4. It's 360. Multiply by 4. What are we talking about? So you guys are telling me you blew about 1 point something million. Is that how you live? Your house that you live? So at the end of the day, they had to bring in police. Yes. And the people had to refund some money. They did not have it, but they had to go and borrow it and bring. Now, we've heard of cases of where a community or an environment, transformer was bad, let us buy transformer, they contributed money, the money disappear, transformer chairman disappear. You cannot beat anybody. So at the end of the day, everybody sits down. The next time transformer is bad, nobody can even come out and say, come, Momo, do like this, let us bring money. This one not spoil. Why? Because the people no longer trust the system. Because why? The people who came out to say they wanted to solve this problem they are not leaders. They are politicians who came to come and play politics. Do the people, the more you see, the more you see, the more you look, the less you see. So, politics is not leadership, and leadership is not politics. Though there are leaders that are politicians, and there are also politicians that are leaders, the two of them go hand in hand. Now, when I say that we lack leaders in Nigeria, the leadership of a people is a reflection of the people. Now, what this means is that a good people cannot have bad leaders, and a bad people cannot have good leaders. But if peradventure something happens, a good people have a bad leader or bad leadership, it is actually very easy for them to unseat that leader, push out that leader from office, and put a new leader. Now, some of us may have experienced this if maybe in school when we're in university, or in our churches, or in our mosque, or in our wherever we worship, or in organizations we belong to. You find out that maybe at a particular point in time, you have one executive, maybe the chairman or somebody within the executive, and the person comes and maybe if the system is totally corrupt, maybe like the building committee that is supposed to generate maybe 10 million to complete a building committee has been there for the past 4 years, they have generated over 60 million, yet the building has not even got to lintel level. Then you now, one chairman, can come, you now come and say, no more chopping in this committee. My brother, you will die like fowl. Why are you going to die? Because you have come from outside to come and change the system. And the people don't need you. They need somebody to come there and continue the choppings. So, when the people have bad leaders, if the people are good, it's a very simple thing. You can pass a vote of no confidence, which is, it has been done in several. In fact, when I was a class captain in primary four, at a point they passed a vote of no confidence on me. Because then in my primary school in Port Harcourt, I grew up in Port Harcourt, I'm still in Port Harcourt now. Primary school, Aladumo Educational Center. I think in my primary four, class captains were given the permission to flog. That you can order you can order a member of your class to say, write list of noisemakers for names of noisemakers for me. When they write the names of noisemakers, you have the option of taking it to your class teacher for him to come and discipline them, or you can discipline them yourself. Now, based on the fact that I was a scout and I was taught discipline as a scout, and my popsy is a very disciplined person. You don't misbehave. You have to be straight in what you are doing. So I saw like going to call the teacher. Sometimes the teacher even pities them. Like those people that are his friends, he doesn't really flog them much. But for me, if you're my friend and your name enters our list, I will flog you more. Why? Because I feel that being my friend, you are supposed to be part of the people that will help me put the class in order. But you are now the one tumbling the class, so I will flog you. So I did that in first term. At the end of the first time, they said no. Some people now revolted and said no, he has to go. He is too wicked. He doesn't smile with anybody. He flogs everybody, even though you are his friend. They were murmuring it. At a point, it got to a fever pitch. My own best friend was the person who spearheaded the clamor to say he must go. But my class teacher did not want me to go because I had the best class. My class was best in terms of nobody makes noise because they know I'm there. I don't go out. The teacher can go out and do some other things. He can go to another class. But I'm in the same class with you. So how dare you make noise in my class? So my class was the best in terms of people behave themselves. People don't go out anyhow that you want to go and eat yourself. Like in other classes, if you want to, maybe when the class has become so tense, nobody's talking. As a result of you don't want your name to enter list. Somebody says, I want to go and eat myself. So in 10 minutes, you go and eat yourself 2 or 3 times. No, it Doesn't happen in my class because the moment you go out, as the first person goes out, the second person goes out, by the fourth person I tell you no, you are not going there. Urinate there if you want to urinate. Because I know you're just going out to go and catch fun, then come back. So when it got to that fever pitch, my friend said no, he has to go. And the, it now got to admin. Our headmaster then now said, he now said, okay, if they let them do an election, they now did an election, and in the election, I won 19 to 11 because we were about 30 in the class. So I won 19, and I remained. So leadership is very, very different from politics. And as a nation, if we want to grow, we have to apply leadership in what we're doing, not politics. Now, but for us to become, or for us to apply leadership, or for us to apply leadership principle towards our own growth, we need to understand what leadership is. Then we need to act right, because when we act right, those in power will act right. Because like I said, leadership is a reflection of the people. The leadership you have is a reflection of the noble or cherished ideals within the people. If the people live a lackadaisical life, an anyhow life, a wuru life, mago mago, that's what you will find in the leadership. Because our leaders are not picked from Jupiter or from outer planets or from another galaxy. No, they are people from amongst us. So it is the ideals they have. Now, below this, there's something I want to let us know, which is that a lot of us have this idea that because our leaders are not, because our political leaders are not the best of character, that's why we, the citizens, are misbehaving. But that's a lie. It is not true. Because let me tell you one thing. In the scale of influence, the political leaders are the least influential in any nation, in anywhere. What do I mean? Every human being embodies a particular set of attitude, character, ways of life, and methods of doing things. And anywhere you are, by virtue of who you are displaying leadership skills. So people are looking up to you. Now, a lot of us, okay, let's take for instance, Elias Stanley. How many times have I seen the governor of Rivers State? Or have I seen the president of Nigeria? Or do I know any local government chairman? Or do I know the minister of finance or whatever? But every day we hear money don't lose, snake, monkey, rat, chop money. Now, if I, as a person, I have discipline with respect to money, even if all the political people in Nigeria are stealing money, it will not inspire me to steal. Rather, I will look for a way to stop that stealing. Because why? I have the moral principle within me. But if I'm a thief, I like stealing. Governor thief, which means me too are supposed to enter there, I might thief my own. So if I see somebody who wants to stop that governor from also boy cool down, I enter there, go chop first. Then if he stop this here, if he change this in Nigeria. But for me, cool down. So we have people in office and we have people that are worse than them waiting to enter that office. So the leaders are not influencing us. They're just the people that their lifestyle is glaring, is showing to everybody, and is affecting everybody. Because we're living in a place where somebody, okay, let me give us a story. I had this friend, this family friend. One day he told us a story. A young boy. Is he a boy? He's a small boy. What is young boy? Young boy should maybe 15, 16. This boy is a small boy. He was about 8 or 9. This guy came out because they live in a public compound. He sent him on errand. He gave him money, 500 naira. So go and buy me so thing. What he bought was about 390 naira. The guy came back, pocketed the change, and gave this my friend what he sent him to go buy. So after he gave him, he walked away. The guy called him and said, "Oh boy, come. How far? Where my change?" He now looked at him, brought out the money, and gave to him. And you know what he told him? He said, "Uncle, you're a bad uncle. Another day, don't send me message again." Now, this was a boy of 8 years. In our own time, as children in the 80s, did we know what money was? These days, in this 2025, 2024, I've seen a lot of videos online, not even in Nigeria, America, China, Japan, and all those places. You see children crying and they give them one big bundle of money and they keep quiet. How did they know that is money? Who taught them? And what makes them think that because they have so much money, they are now comfortable as to stop crying? So, the leadership that we have is a reflection of who we are. The way we live our lives is the way our leaders will live their lives. And there's a saying, I think, in law that he who goes to equity must do so with a clean hand. One good reason why we have always churned out this caliber of leaders is because we ourselves, we are not um um they say going to equity with clean, we don't have the clean hands. It's a question of pot calling kettle black. And the black kettle knows that you, the pot, you are black like him. So why should he listen to you? He cannot listen to you now. He cannot listen to you because you're like him. You're like him. Okay? So let us get that point that the leadership that we see is a reflection of who we are. Now, this means that if we want that leadership to become a right, we have to start from ourselves. Because the leaders cannot just sit down and say, we want to misbehave too much. Okay, let's adjust things and let's behave another way. No, leaders can never do that. They can never. And when you look at an average Nigerian, when I say average, I'm not talking about the poor man on the street, whether he drives a Range Rover or he uses a private jet or he has G-Wagon. When I say average, I'm talking of the man you meet on the streets of Nigeria, whether he's in the biggest, most expensive GRA in the most expensive state. The average Nigerian does not have a vision, a solution, a contemplation about the future of Nigeria. A lot of people tell, nothing good can come out of Nigeria. Now, okay, if you want to test what I'm saying, the next time you're in a conversation, just randomly ask your friends or the people you're in a conversation with, like, how do we make Nigeria a better place? And just find everybody may just turn and look at you like, what's wrong with this guy? Is he okay? But if you want everybody to contribute in the conversation, just anywhere you are, just say, this Nigerian government, and you will see the whole place will be agog. Everybody will be fine. Hey, kill them, do this, do that. All unreasonable solutions. You will see them arguing blindly without any knowledge about what is going on. So, this is because we have not even sat down. A lot of us have not sat down to say, let us make Nigeria a better place. Instead, a lot of us confess very negative confession. Nothing good can come out of Nigeria. Forget Nigeria. Nigeria talk and they like talking because nothing. But one thing you fail to realize is that if you say nothing good can come out of Nigeria, it's a confession of faith of who you are. It means that nothing good can come out of you. It doesn't mean nothing good will come out of Nigeria. It means nothing good can come out of you. Because you have told us that you are empty. You have nothing good to contribute to the growth of the nation. This is where my point comes again. Lack of leadership. We don't have leaders. What we have is talkatives. We like to talk. If you ask, even, oh God, there was one day I went for, no, not even one day. Most times I've gone for events. You will see in the brochure, or is it brochure? You will see one person, 15 degrees to his name. Chief Doctor, this, that. One day, sometimes I'll be asking myself, if we have this caliber of people that have gone to schools like this, why is our economy like this? Why is our life like this? Why is nothing working? There is no system that is working in Nigeria. There's no system. There is no system. If you think there's a system that is working, put it in the comments. There is none. There's no system in Nigeria. There's no space in Nigeria that has integrity. That you can say, I trust these people. Or maybe like a mechanic or a plumber, say, or any particular profession. I trust these people. I can leave my job for them to do, and let me go to somewhere and come back. Even those people who call themselves professionals, like the lawyers and doctors, what professional are they? Lie boy telling me he's a professional liar that is not interested in the truth. He's out to objection, my lord, objection sustained, objection overruled. That's all. And he says he's a professional. You see doctors, if you go to the Western world, you see that even when the police is arresting a criminal, when there is an injury, police will first treat that criminal. Our own here. When you have an injury, if you like go to the any hospital you go buy card first. They will watch you bleed to death. These are people trained to save lives. You will bleed to death. Negligence, medical negligence, left, right, and center. Next thing they say, I will travel abroad. Nigerian government is not taking good care of us. Have you taken care of your patient? Or what? Or we have piles of death every day because of most of the doctors don't even know what they are doing. So there is no profession. Is it employment? Everybody right, I can work with little or no supervision. Give him a job. Give him one little task to do. Go out and come back. You will not only regret why you employed this guy, you will regret why you were so stupid to give him this job and went out. Get any profession, anybody from any profession. It says, okay, I want to do this job for you. I'm going to pay him all the money. Walk away and tell him to do that job. By the time you come back, you will cry. Because they will just do the thing shabbily without that you be what is this person a human being? If you can do this thing with this job that I gave to you, what makes you think I want to call you tomorrow for a bigger job? Or someone comes to do something for you. Maybe a carpenter comes to do a job for you. You say, okay, I want you to build this thing for me. And he says, okay, I will go and buy the parts. And you say, no, I want to go and buy it. He gets offended. And he says, you're a bad man. For God's sake, I called you to come and do this job for me. I did not call you that you will go and buy parts for me. Because some people will charge you times 3. I remember a friend of mine who wanted to fix his AC. He doesn't know anything about AC work. So he called one highly recommended technician. The guy came and said, gas, he will use about 3 kg of gas. This 3 kg will cost 35,000. The guy was just quoting. At the end of it, he said, for him to fix that AC will cost about 65,000. This is 2024, last year. So the guy even came, looked at the whole thing. He quoted this money. So my guy was like, let me just call somebody else. He was looking for how to raise this cash. But I said, let me just call somebody else to come and look at the AC. He got somebody else. The guy came, looked at the AC and told him that the gas he will use for that AC is 14,000. So the guy fixed that AC with about 20,000. 20,000. Now the other one said his gas alone is 35,000. Before he now talk of other things, he said there was one something that has board inside the AC. He said that gone bad. Then he will weld here, he will weld, he will do this, he will do that, and so there is no profession that has integrity. Even the religious institutions. I don't really want to talk about that. One person will say I'm the devil. But the truth is, the religious institutions have failed us more than the political class. Because religious institutions are the headquarters of corruption. It is the headquarter. So the point is, if we need to grow, if we have to grow Nigeria, we have to become leaders. And becoming a leader, one of the first things that we do as a leader is you now watching this. I want you to think of a vision. Think of something that you can do to make Nigeria a better place. I'm not saying go and talk about what the government hasn't done, criticize any government or criticize any system or criticize any space. No. I'm talking about what you can do as a person, starting from your lifestyle. Something that can transform, something that can create a long-term impact. Because one of the difference between we and the whites or the Western world is these guys have learned how to build a system. They can plan for the next 100 years and they execute it in steps. But we here in the line, it's me, myself, and I now. So I like you to create a vision out of your life. Create a vision out of your moral values. If you don't have moral values, you have to start developing them. Because every one of us has deep moral values that resonate within us or with what we want. For some of us, we don't like injustice, so we can be passing on the road and we see an injustice, we'll carry our forehead, we'll solve that problem before we continue on our journey. If that is you, then think of how to take that justice that you seek to the next level. Because that is the greater Nigeria we're looking for. Because Nigeria is like a building. If you come to a building, you have you have blocks, you have cement, you have sand, you have water. That was a catalyst during the process of building. Because with the water, you mix sand and cement, you molded your block, you did your casting, you did everything. Now you have rods, you have foundation. We're all like that. Now, even when you come into the building, you have toiletries, you have stuffs, you have bed, you have table, you have chairs in your parlor, you have television in your parlor. These are all individual parts of the complete system. So the vision you have for Nigeria is what will make Nigeria a better place. I believe in Nigeria. And I believe that if we start to become conscious of our own contribution to national development, we'll make Nigeria a greater place. Yes, we can. Because the rule of life, the rule of leadership is that when effort is applied, result comes. That's the principle behind success. Anything you do, you'll be successful. It may take time, but you will definitely be successful, both in your career, in your personal life. If you want to experiment it, pick up a particular topic and read something about that topic for the next 1 year. Every 2 days, I wouldn't say every day because you may not have the discipline to do it every day, but every 2 days, read 5 minutes. Do 5 minutes research online or anywhere. Read a book, but just devote 5 or 10 minutes towards building that particular thing in you. And in 1 year, you will not recognize who you are. So, Nigeria can become a better place, but we collectively have to believe in our country. Because if we don't believe in our country, my dear, God is not going to come down from heaven, come be down for us. Because God does not work that way. Yes, we know everything is possible, but there are certain things He will not do. Because other nations that built their own, other people that built their nation, God did not come down from heaven. It is the people that rose to the occasion. So if we want to build Nigeria, you have to become the leader that you envisage to become. You have to become the great mind that you want to become. You have to become the person that you desire. When I talk about this, I'm talking from a moral perspective. We have to build our moral values and inject them into the society. Because okay, let me read out something. It says it's a quote from the Chinese people. It says the ancient who wish to manifest their clear character to the world will first bring their states to order. Those who wish to bring their states to order will first regulate their families. Those who wish to regulate their families will first cultivate their personal lives. Those who wish to cultivate their personal lives will first rectify their minds. Those who wish to rectify their minds will first make their will sincere. Those who wish to make their will sincere will first extend their knowledge. Then, when knowledge is extended, the will is made sincere. When the will is made sincere, the mind will be rectified. When the mind is rectified, the personal life will be cultivated. When the personal life is cultivated, the family life will be regulated. When the family life is regulated, the state will know order and there will be peace worldwide. Now, the summum boom, the sum total of all this lies on the individual, rectified mind, cultivated personal life, regulated life, sincere will. So everything boils down to us. As a nation, desperate times call for desperate measures. We're in a desperate time where our lack of leadership has led us all collectively. When I say collectively, I'm not talking of the government. Because some of us believe it's the government that has brought us to this level that we are. Now all of us, me I follow, ye follow. All of us now follow do Nigeria like this. So it is our responsibility to start the process of re-engineering Nigeria and making it a better place. I need you to believe in Nigeria. I need you to be positive. Just find a space in your heart. Find one little space where you can be positive about the things you want to do. Believe in yourself. Believe that when you consistently hammer it on, you will achieve results. Because the truth is, Nigeria is a great place. Nigeria is a wonderful place. If we truly understood or understand the potentials in Nigeria, all those people they japa, they will not japa to anywhere. Because in fact, those people that are japaing, they are worse than our leaders. Because if you're conscious enough to understand that the system is not right, and the next thing you are doing is to run out of that system, then maybe you don't have the courage to be called a leader. Because if your father's house is on fire, are you going to run to the next village? You run to the next village, will you come back to your house? Thank God, that's why I like what Trump is doing. Lock everywhere, let nobody go anywhere. So that we'll see how everybody will be japaring. Because you think, don't you know those people you're running to their place, they don't like you. Or you think they like you. They only tolerate you. And don't be surprised, it will get, by the time Trump finishes, then the next one will say, okay, we will deport every black. Both the one they brought during slave, we will deport him. Yes, it's possible. Because I know from what I see, I know that there are certain people in America today that if given the opportunity, they will deport all the blacks. Yes. So it may get to that level. The aggression in the world may get to that level. Let's not go there anyway. back home, let us try and build Nigeria because we have the potential, we have what it takes, we have great minds, and we can do it. I believe we can. I believe we can. And I need you to believe that we can. Let us enter motivate ourselves. If you have um, if you have questions or there are areas that you think I can be of help to you by way of motivational conversation, you can talk to me. Leave it in the comment or send me a message directly, and we'll discuss. Okay. But the most important thing is arise, O compatriots. Arise, O compatriots. Nigeria calls you, and I will appeal to you to obey.